Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be talking about the sun in Capricorn. So if you're tuning in to this video today or sometime in between the January, late December period, then you know that the sun has officially transitioned into Capricorn, which means that it is Capricorn season. So first and foremost, as always, happy birthday to all of the Capricorns. If your birthday has already passed, if it's coming up, or if your birthday is today of the day that you're watching this video, happy birthday from me to you. Alright, so Capricorns. Capricorns are the 10th zodiac sign on the astrological chart. Their element is earth. Their quadruplicity or modality is cardinal. I'm sorry, because as said, always cardinal comes at the beginning of the season. So Capricorn comes in the beginning of the winter seasons. So some people might know or say that Capricorns can be cold, and I find that to be funny since they come at the beginning of the winter seasons, right? They're the initiators of the winter period. So in a way, they can be the initiators of the cold, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. But Capricorn's ruling planet is also Saturn, which is the planet of restriction, limitation, commitment, responsibility, organization, things like that. So when you combine the quadruplicities, the elements, the planet of Saturn, and also Capricorn is 10th house. So in the 10th house is the house of career. So as I was saying, once you combine all of these things up, you get Capricorn, right? As I say always when I give out analogies or whatnot or what have you, Capricorn being an earth sign and also being a cardinal sign, so that's something like a starting ground that's beginning to move, and so to speak. So this is how you would relay Capricorn as. Capricorns are the ones who's going to hit the ground and running, so to speak. Earth is associated with stability. Earth is associated with practicality. Earth is associated with being rigid or stern, because ground tends to usually not move, or it does, and it's at its own pace, but it's grounded, so to speak. And their modality being initiator, so that there means, as I was talking about on my elements and quadruplicities videos, or triplicities and quadruplicities videos, is that they're being initiators, or that initiation of beginning things is that they always are good. This makes Capricorns always good at starting things off when it comes to finding something that's going to be stable, when it comes to finding something that's in the stability, that leads to stability, shall I say. Something that's going to lead to themselves being grounded, or grounding out something that they're a part of, a project or whatever you have in a relationship, something of that nature, that they are the causes of that. They are the forerunners or front runners of that, should I say. And now, so you can also attribute that to their other traits or other influences that comes to them from their ruling planet, Saturn, and from the house that they are lords of. So Capricorn, their ruling planet being restriction and limitations, responsibility, organization. they will be they will lay out the groundwork for those things. They would lay out the groundwork for anything organizational. See how that ties into one another. They are very organizational people, very can be very tedious people, because they like to do things exactly, exactly that rigidness that comes from their earth sign. They like to do everything, how it is supposed to go, how they like to do it, follow it accordingly, should I say. They don't like to, they like things, some people would say that Capricorns can be bossy. That's because of their ruling planet, because of that planet of restriction. They're giving out, they're the ones in organization. They're going to be tedious. They're almost robot-like. You know what I mean? Not to say that they're necessarily be, there's no fun in them, even though many people do associate that with being a negative trait of Capricorns. People will say, you might hear people say that Capricorns aren't fun, or certain Capricorns are boring, or things of that nature. And that's because that's that restriction. They're feeling the influence or the energy of that restriction that Capricorns bring to them. That sternness, that serious attitude, or when they feel serious about certain things, and because they're going to play around when it comes to doing certain things. They're going to be on top of it. It leads to them usually being very mature type of people, because as I said, they're going to hold on to, or they're going to be more responsible, or tend to usually be more responsible than most other signs, or most other people, should I say, because of that Saturn influence, that responsibility, that being restrict, or that setting those limitations or groundwork for organization, things of that nature. So they're going to be, as I said, more mature in a way. Also, with that career sign, you have to also keep in mind that means they're all about their business. They're mature in that sense, that business comes first to these people. That's what it's about for them. Is business comes first. So this is another reason of why people may not see them as fun, or why people might see them robot-like, or cold, or whatever, because these people are very hard-working, goal-oriented. That career, that career influence is going to lead them to be goal-oriented. So they're also going to be ambitious people who usually want to climb the ladder of whatever career they set out to make, or a career that they set out to be a part of, or that they choose for what they want to be their actual career. They're going to usually want to climb the ladder of that career, whether it's high up in the administrative level, or whether it's just high up in the making money level. Now, so if you think about all of those different things, you could think of some of the negative traits that come with those things. As I always say, there's polarity to everything. So there's a good side and a bad side to everything that we do, right? So with them being so hardworking, as one thing, as already stated, they can be seen to be cold, or standoffish, or boring, because they're so focused on their work before they focus on their play. Not to say that they don't play, because they do. They like to have good times just as usually anybody else, right? So, but they are workers before they are players, if that makes sense. Another thing is that the planet Saturn negative influences also give off a worriness, or can associate with worriness, and this tends to usually come about in the same thing, or influences these Capricorns, or influences Capricorns in the same way, of whether it's worrying about career things associated with career, things associated with with material, because I forgot that Earth also represents materialism, because you know the materials of the Earth is made up of material matter. So these are other things that Capricorns will feel that they can worry about, or that they can put so much focus onto these things because they are so grounded, so stable, so rigid. That's another negative trait that comes about, that it can be rigid, you know, hard to move, you know. They might move at first, they might get things started, but it can be hard to stabilize that. Even though that they do bring stability from their earth sign, but it could be hard to, I guess, finish it in a way. Hard to keep it going, you know. They can keep it stabilized, or they can make it to a point of stability, but it can hard for them to keep things going, for them to see it all the way through. And that's because of that worriness is going to kick in. Or it's like someone who talks themselves out of doing something that they probably know is what's best. It's like overthinking almost, if that makes sense. So that can also be a negative trait of Capricorns. Another negative trait of Capricorns, because of that, even though that they can be ambitious people, they tend to usually be pessimistic people as well, because of that worriness. And Saturn also brings depression sometimes, because their moods can change to depression, and especially if they're not getting what they want, as far as when it comes to career or advances in materialism in some sort of way, or not feeling stable, if that makes sense, not feeling grounded, not feeling that ground underneath them. If that ground starts to lift up, or if that ground is, starts to sink in, it's like, they don't feel comfortable with that. Also, Capricorns represent the goat. The goat represents stubbornness. You see, if they say if a goat whole goal is to climb to the top of the mountain. This is why Capricorns are associated with that, with the goat. The goat is to climb to the top of the mountain, or goats usually like to climb high, right? But once they get there, they don't like to move. You see what I'm saying? You can't push a goat over an edge. You can't trick a goat to walking over the edge, because it's going to be very stubborn. And this is something that's associated with Capricorn's traits, or these are the influences of Capricorn's traits. Another trait that's associated with Capricorn that comes from the Saturn influence is karma. Karma is associated with Saturn, which influences Capricorn. So Capricorns are known, or they're said to be known, that most of them have very karmic influences. So what I mean by that is that if they go and do something where they know is wrong, or doing something in the wrong, that they will instantly reap karma for that, or receive karma for whatever they did was wrong. Vice versa, if they did something was good. And this is why Capricorns usually tend to have very good hearts, because they know the difference between right and wrong. They know what they should and should not be doing, and they know and fear or worry because of that same karma. It's something that's inside of them that they hold. So if you combine with the karma mixed with Capricorn being stern or rigid, or kind of standoffish, or kind of seeming on the cold manner, Capricorns usually also tend to face a lot of betrayal in their life. People tend to usually want to betray Capricorns because of this. This makes people usually seek vengeance upon Capricorn, or make people be spiteful towards Capricorns, doing something in spite because of that. And it can bring jealousy to people, or people who have jealousy type of feelings, or people who suffer from jealousy, however you want to put that. So this is something that's associated with Capricorn, or something that Capricorns usually feel, or the influence of Capricorns. And this also leads to there's also all of those signs from Capricorn, or those traits or influence from Capricorns, also lead to them being vindictive themselves. If they feel like, that they've been wronged or whatever in some kind of way, Capricorns are known to be one of the most vindictive signs under Scorpio, that is. But yes, this is also associated with Capricorns. Other influence that influences Capricorns from the 10th house is social status. So when you blend these things into the other traits of Capricorns, they usually tend to want material gain for social status, or to get a boost of social status. And this is something that they are, that they feel strongly about. This is something that they tend to usually highly hold high, should I say, ambition towards. Like, social status is something that's essential for Capricorns. They want, as I said, they want to gain material gains for social status purpose, or these things are one and the same to them. You see what I'm saying? Like, so they tend to usually shun away from anything that's going to lead to them being embarrassed, or anything that's going to lead to them they don't like the feeling of not being regarded in a high light of others. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for these Capricorns to not care about, or I said these Capricorns, but Capricorns in general, to care about others' opinions, because social status means a lot to them. And this all ties into with their career as well. Whatever they do for a career, they want to be looked at as highly or favorable, if that makes sense. Now, the part of the Capricorn, the part of the body that's associated with Capricorns are the gallbladder, bones, teeth, which is similar to the same. So, as I always say, these are parts of your bodies that you should be paying attention to the most, or keeping a healthy diet to take care of those parts of the body the most, because these are also the parts of the body that are your more sensitive. So, and as always, it's polar opposites. So it's sensitive in a good way, and also sensitive in a negative way. Sensitive to the fact where these are more prone to getting, or more likely to, parts of your body to more likely to getting injured, or having bad health at that parts. But as I said, on the plus side, sensitive in the nature, whereas these are also your arousal positions. Lucky day of the week for Capricorns are Saturdays. Lucky number is 2 and 8. Their special flower is a carnation or ivy. Best careers for Capricorns is something in the organizational field, something that has to do with some type of organization, whether it's planning for some type of event, like an event coordinator, wedding planner, things like that. Also, careers is anything that's in the financial sector. These are the best careers for Capricorns, like something that has to do with finance, something with banking, accounting, things like that. They also tend to usually be very well at any career that they set out to want for themselves, because these are a very hard working sign. So they will excel in almost anything that they usually want to do. Also, leadership, can't forget about anything in the leadership field, anything that has to do with management, so to speak. Is it so to speak or so to speak? Anyway, anything with leadership. So they will do good in managerial things as well. So yeah, as I said though, anything in a career, anything that dealing with career that they tend to want to do, like if they really go after it, they will definitely excel in it, because they're going to be hardworking people 9 times out of 10. Of course, as I always say, it depends on your other, astrological makeup. Their special crystal or special gemstone is a garnet. Their polar opposite signs are Cancers. Their most compatible signs are Virgos, Taurus, Pisces, and Scorpios. In Egyptian mythology, Capricorn is said to be associated with Thoth or Thoth, however you pronounce that, I'm not quite sure. Also, Pan is the Greek god that's associated with Capricorn. So yeah, that was it on Sun sign and Capricorn. So I hope you guys liked the video. As always, if you did, don't forget to press the like button, press the subscribe button if you want to stay in tune for future videos. Click the description box if you want to follow me on my social medias. Write in the comments section box down below to let me know how you feel about this video, or just let me know something in general. Thank you for your time as always, and until next time, peace and love, y'all.